And with thanksgiving, I am a living sanctuary for you. So every month, I think about what the theme is. I find a word that's speaking to me and I meditate on it. This time it happened to be sanctuary, because I looked this up, and sanctuary is a place of refuge or safety, a nature reserve, a holy place, the inmost recess or holiest part of a temple where the high altar is kept. And I was like, okay, as people, and especially as women, that's what we are. That's how we move. And in order to honor our ancestors, we have to realize, okay, like, we're here because literally there's no way we could have been here without them. Listening in the back about everybody else's ancestors and how that comes up, and sometimes we don't like or agree with who our ancestors are, but guess what? That's what it is. I come from slave masters, I come from slaves, I come from indigenous people, I come from people who were drug here, I come from so many things, and yes, it's a struggle. And it is what it is. There's ancestors that I do honor more than others. In my room, I actually have an altar. I have a drum that my mother gave me. I have 3 ancestors that represent me, my sister, and my brother. And every day I go to this and I talk to them, and I have to remember that I'm moving with them. They're moving with me. The spirit isn't necessarily just one spirit. There's several. There's no such thing as just one energy or one God or one manifestation of anything, because there's a lot of people. Let's start there. We're all carrying something different. Everybody has a story. Everybody has a different compound, a different makeup. And in order to honor your ancestors and your individual makeup, you have to figure out how you're going to be a sanctuary. Even talking to my sister, we are so different, so different, but I can't think of anybody else in this world outside my mother that I love more. And literally, the way that we worship is so different. We were brought up in 2 different kinds of churches. I'm a biracial person, or a multi-ethnic, however you want to call it. I identify black, but we were brought up in the white churches and the black churches, and there's some differences. Lots of them. And my sister, I was sitting there in my mind, I'm like, cool. When we get out of the Methodist church, we can actually do something. We can talk back to the pastor. We're supposed to have fun. We're supposed to be engaged. And she's like, no, I don't like that. I want to go to the Methodist church where I just sit down, it's an hour, and I leave. I was like, oh, okay. So she honors our ancestors in a different way. And it's about an individual relationship that you have. And accepting is the biggest thing. Today I put in the circle acceptance. That's something that I have an issue with myself. And in order to be a sanctuary, to keep the sanctuary clean, there's maintenance that has to happen. In order to honor your ancestors, you have to do that personal, that spiritual, that physical, whatever that maintenance is, you need to do it. Because I'm a healer, that's my calling, that's what I do. My ancestors live through my hands. They live through how I move, they live through my thoughts, my words, my everything, and I have to make sure that I'm aligning myself and also remembering that one day we're going to be the ancestors. And how are you living your legacy every day so that your next generation can see you and say, this is what I remember about my aunt, about my mother, about my sister, about my great-great something. You're going to be somebody's great-grand, somebody's great-great-grand. And I know you're not thinking about it when you're walking around and living, but neither were they. They were surviving. That's it. That's all we're doing, and finding the best way to survive. So honoring how they survived and made sure we got here, because if they didn't survive and figure that out, how the hell would we be here? We wouldn't. That's the answer. So